Lesson 86. So we're still on the review lessons, and we're reviewing lesson 71 and lesson 72. These ideas for today's review are lesson 71. Only God's plan for salvation will work. It is senseless for me to search wildly about for salvation. I have seen it in many people and in many things. But when I reached for it, it was not there. I was mistaken about where it is. I was mistaken about what it is. I will undertake no more idle seeking. Only God's plan for salvation will work. And I will rejoice because his plan can never fail. These are some suggested forms for applying this idea specifically. God's plan for salvation will save me from my perception of this. This is no exception to God's plan for my salvation. Let me perceive this only in the light of God's plan for salvation. And then lesson number 72 says, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Holding grievances is an attempt to prove that God's plans for salvation will not work. Yet only his plan will work. By holding grievances, I am therefore excluding my only hope of salvation from my awareness. I would no longer defeat my own best interests in this insane way. I would accept God's plan for salvation and be happy. Specific applications for this idea might be in these forms. I am choosing between misperception and salvation as I look on this. If I see grounds for grievance in this, I will not see the grounds for my salvation. This calls for salvation, not attack. So again, they are lesson 71, only God's plan for salvation will work, and 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Okay. Beautiful. Let me bring through our beloved Mary Magdalene. It's so good to be with all of you this morning. Okay. Greetings, beloveds. It is our pleasure and our delight to be with you. As always, holding on to of any grievances is an attack on yourself. It is an attack on another. For when you hold a grievance with another, what you have withheld is love. And love is the energy of creation. It is the energy with which you were created. For God is a single word, and indeed that word is love. Therefore, everything that is an expression of God is an expression of love. And this includes you, yourself, beloved. When you have come to recognize that the plan for salvation is for you to love as you were originally intended, you are willing to relinquish, you are willing to forgive these grievances that are held. And grievances are merely an action within the mind that is not using the mind of God, nor the will of God, nor the heart of God. It is using an egoic mind that was created as an assistant and as a tool, but that has been indulged with much power. And what it has caused, beloveds, is for you to not hear the voice of God any longer. The voice of God that would say to you, beloved, who stands before you is indeed an aspect of you. Who stands before you is indeed a beloved to you. This circumstance that has come to you is indeed for you. There are things you are meant to learn here. There are things you are meant to know and to understand here. And when grievances are held, it creates an interference that does not allow the mind, the will, the words, the heart of God to be heard, felt, or understood. Forgive yourself first and foremost, beloved ones. And in that forgiving, you will find and you will see that you are indeed granted much love, much grace. You are instantly returned to the state of grace in which you were created, which is the state of love. Hear first and foremost, beloveds, the words of God as they speak to you. Look within to see what is your heart's desire, truly. For in this desire, you will find your freedom and you will find your pathway back. But for you to know what it is that you truly desire, you must become still and you must look within. For within you will find that freedom, beloved. The freedom to know that the truth of you is a magnificence and a radiance. That the truth of you is there has been a thought within you that you want to return home. There has been a thought within you that you miss something. The home that you desire and long for exists within you. The something that is missing is the aspect of you that is indeed divine. There is a saying in the world, there is no place like home. Understand, beloveds, that home exists within your heart. It is nothing that is external to you. It is nothing that is foreign to you. It is nothing that cannot belong to you, that does not belong to you, and that is not meant for you. So allow yourselves today, in this moment, to take a breath as God's breath breathes you. And as you exhale, bring your love and your consciousness to your heart, for it truly is the pathway back to the truth. For that which you love, you bless, and that which you judge and you hold grievances against, you curse. And you many times, over and over, beloved, curse yourselves. You hold a grievance about the way that you look. You hold a grievance about your body. You hold a grievance about the way that another looks and about their body. And you are projecting your own fears and thoughts upon another. You have a grievance about your life, circumstances, your parents, your children, your mates, your friends, politicians. The list goes on. Look within, beloved ones, and find within you the place of grace, the place of forgiveness. For forgiveness is the key to salvation. It allows you to love as God loves. And God loves you truly, for God loves all creation. Look to see what you yourself have created, beloved. See if you can grant yourself forgiveness. And in that forgiveness, find love. In that forgiveness, find compassion. In that forgiveness, find truth. And there you shall truly find yourself, smiling, waiting in a state of grace. Forgiveness, beloveds. Forgiveness will grant you the grace and the keys to find the truth of you within. As you allow God's breath to breathe you, you inhale and you know that God is. And understand, beloveds, that you are the exhale. You are the I am that God breathes. Allow yourself to float upon the breath of God. Allow yourself to be imbued, to be filled with the essence that God is, the beauty and the majesty that God is. For that same beauty and majesty belong to you, beloved ones. So as you find yourself with your lessons today, allowing yourself to surrender the grievances that you have held, you will find that there is a moment of peace, a moment of tranquility, and a moment of solitude that allows you to feel peace beyond measure. It allows you to feel your divinity and your holiness. Go with our blessings, beloveds, for you always have them. You have our love. Call upon us that we may be of assistance. Call upon us when you have forgotten. Here you shall find your salvation, for there are many, many, many of us who are looking to assist you on your journey to love, your journey to truth, your journey back to the arms of God. Our blessings are with you always, beloved ones. We thank you for your presence. We love you, and we will speak with you again. Thank you all so much for being with us today, and we'll see you tomorrow.